in light of the fact that Judge Torrey has ordered Ripple to pay a reduced punishment of $125 million. The company's ongoing legal battle with the Securities and Exchange Commission's Qs is drawing closer to the possibility of reaching a resolution. A request for a delay in the payment was made by the corporation not too long ago, which has sparked a discussion regarding the potential of filing an appeal with the SEC prior to the deadline of October 6th. It has been recommended by experts in the field of B-valves that this move could buy time for other legal proceedings during the calm period before the storm. The lawsuit that Ripple is now pursuing against the United States Securities and Exchange Commission has been going on for almost 4 years, and it continues to be one of the topics that generates the most discussion within the cryptocurrency industry. In December of 2020, the regulatory body filed a complaint against the company, accusing it of obtaining more than $1.3 billion in unregistered securities offering through the sale of its native cryptocurrency. It is vital to keep in mind that this case was brought against the company. The XRP, when the big incident that took place a month ago is taken into consideration, it would appear that the dispute will finally come to an end. During that time frame, Judge Torres came to the conclusion that the transactions of selling XRP on secondary markets to individual investors did not qualify as securities transactions. Ripple, on the other hand, was ordered to pay a fine of $125 million because it violated multiple regulations that govern the regulation of securities. It is important to note that although the amount may appear to be substantial, it is actually a reduction of 94% from the amount that the SEC had initially asked. The decision of the court was regarded as a significant victory by a large number of industry participants, including Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, because of this particular reason. Stuart Alderotai, the chief financial officer of the company, provided his guarantee that the penalty would be paid in cash from the balance sheet of the company. Meanwhile, the executive emphasized that the company will adhere to the ruling. On the other hand, the Securities and Exchange Commission has not made any public statements on the direction it intends to take in the future. Observers of the market, on the other hand, are of the opinion that the government is more likely to appeal Judge Torres' decision when taking into mind the initial proposition that it presented. This kind of development must be finished before October 6th, which is the deadline for the deadline. It is rumored that Ripple is on the approach of paying the multi-million-dollar sanction, according to the most recent documents. According to a number of analysts and members of the XRP community, the company submitted a new application during the first week of September, which was contrary to what was generally anticipated. In the application, the company requested a stay on the monetary component of the judgment that had been entered by the court 1 month prior. The commission expressed its agreement with the terms that were presented, and its legal counsel informed the commission of the delay in delivery of the money. As a consequence of the migration across the region, there were intense discussions that took place. In light of the fact that some specialists interpret it as a precursor to a potential appeal, I believe that the possibility of an appeal is raised by the fact that all of this effort was put into organizing a trust for the funds, as expressed by Fred Rispoli, an attorney from the United States. He was one of the individuals who shared the theory and remarked, "I believe that the likelihood of an appeal is increased." On the other hand, this is the most foreseeable action that the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) may take in order to buy time before the deadline to appeal, which is on October 7th. The Bitso exchange has received 100 million XRP, which is equivalent to 19 million tokens, from a wallet that is affiliated with Ripple. This transaction took place in recent times. This massive transaction, which was estimated to be worth approximately $57 million, was brought to the attention of the public by the whale alert phenomenon. Ripple is currently dealing with a number of problems in terms of regulatory control, and the transfer of XRP has caused the community to voice anxiety because it correlates with these problems. Because the deadline for the SEC's appeal, which is on October 6th, is getting closer and closer, there has been a significant amount of curiosity that has been fueled by this fact. In spite of the legal pressure, a wallet affiliated with Ripple has successfully transferred 100 million XRP. According to Whale Alert, a famous tracking tool, an address that is associated with Ripple is considered to have carried out a substantial transfer of XRP today. This information was revealed by Whale Alert. It was a transaction that involved the transfer of 100 million XRP to a wallet that was unknown. After the first payment, 19 million XRP were sent to a second Ripple wallet, which subsequently quickly distributed these funds to a number of different exchanges. As an illustration, 19 million additional XRP were transferred to Bitso, and 257,000 additional XRP were transmitted to Bitstamp. However, Bitso was the recipient of the greater amount of the transaction. Ripple is now working its way through the SEC case, and this shift is significant since it corresponds with a moment that is extremely important for the company. In light of the fact that the deadline for appealing the ruling is drawing near, it is possible that the wallet is connected to Ripple attorneys who are getting ready to distribute the trust fund. In particular, this is the case due to the fact that Judge Torres granted the XRP company permission to delay the payment of $125 million and to keep the funds in trust until clarification is provided on the appeal by October 6th. An interview that took place on September 18th with CNBC revealed that Secretary Gensler stated that continued investigation of cryptocurrencies would be carried out. In regard to the regulation of cryptocurrencies, Gary Gensler, who serves as the chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission, has reinforced his view. In his remarks, Chair Gensler emphasized how important it is to safeguard the interests of individual investors. Since the beginning of time, this industry has been rife with dishonest people, con artists, and it continues to be so now. It is not possible to find anything about the securities industry that is incompatible with the fundamental safeguards that are incorporated in the rules that govern the industry. If I say that, I mean it in a serious way. Even in the event that you save items on a record ledger or accounting ledger that is referred to as the blockchain, investors nonetheless need to have certain essential protections in place. The United States securities laws have been in force for the past 90 years, and as a consequence, I would argue that there is a great degree of clarity that is associated with them. Particularly important is the fact that Gensler's comments gave the impression that the government is still committed to regulating the digital asset sector through the use of enforcement procedures. Regulatory procedures are going to be the focus of the testimony that will be presented at the SEC to Congress. The House Committee on Financial Services of the United States of America made the announcement on September 24th that they will be holding a full committee hearing on the subject of the oversight of the Securities and Exchange Commission. There was a coincidence between the time of the interview with Gensler and the timing of one of the announcements. Witnesses from all 5 commissioners of the Securities and Exchange Commission will be brought before the committee for the very first time since the year 2019 to provide their testimony. Due to the vacuum in financial services, recent instances in which the Securities and Exchange Commission has been subjected to legal opposition for reckless objectives and abuses of authority have been brought to the attention of the public. In addition to these, the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) filed lawsuits against Ripple, Grayscale, and Debtbox. There is a potential that the investigation of Sexy Chair Gensler and the SEC's supervision of the digital asset business by lawmakers from the United States could be advantageous for the price trends of cryptocurrencies. The aim of the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) to continue attacking the cryptocurrency industry, on the other hand, this opens the prospect of an appeal being filed against the decisions that were taken in the case of CVS versus Ripple. The SEC has until October 7th to file an appeal, and it must do it before that date. As can be seen by the fact that the wallet in issue has been involved in several transactions over the course of the past week, the data provided by Bitum also demonstrates that the wallet in question has been constantly active. Taking into consideration an earlier transaction that took place on September 17th, in which 50 million XRP were moved to the same recipient wallet, this transaction provides evidence that there is a pattern in the activity of the wallet in the midst of the regulatory investigation. The hypothesis extends to the possibility of a sell-off, particularly in light of the following movement of a portion of the XRP that was moved to exchanges, the reaction of the market, and discussion surrounding the matter. In the aftermath of the completion of the transaction, there was a slight increase in the value of XRP. It should be noted that the material that has been supplied is not intended to serve as business advice. In the event that any investments are made on the basis of the information that is provided on this page, there is no responsibility for those investments. Prior to making any choice on investments, we strongly recommend performing independent research and talking with a professional who is educated in the field.